Hey guys, welcome back to ProjectTube. Today I will be casting these Pirate Caribbean coins. I printed them out with the wax filament on my 3D printer, and we are going to cast these in brass and make some gold coins. Well, brass coins, but they'll look gold. Should be shiny and cool. Let's get started.
So starting this project, I had never cast any coins before. I've done other casts, but never any coins. So I did a little research and saw some YouTube videos of guys casting coins out of lead. And what they would do is they would take their model coin and press it into a plaster mold, transferring one side of the coin into the plaster mold, and then pour their molten metal over it. So I thought I'd try that at first, even though it seemed a little suspicious to me from my experience with other castings. And this was attempt number 1. So as you can see, the coin just did not come out correctly. There's not enough head height, there's not enough pressure to press that metal down into the mold and transfer all the intricate details. Maybe it works with lead, but it didn't work with brass. Moving on to attempt number 2, I figured I'd just stick with what I've done before and what I know works. So I did a regular screw channel, kind of like I did with the Fidget Spinner. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out. It's pretty cool. It's a bottom fill, so the screw goes down to the bottom of the piece and then fills from the bottom up. There's a vent at the top. Now make sure when you do this that your vent at the top is smaller than your regular screw channel. That'll help create some pressure inside that cast and help fill all those little void spaces. I also made sure that my plaster mix was nice and soupy so that it would get in all the nooks and crannies, and I kind of worked it in with my finger as well. The problem with making it soupy is it takes longer to set up and you have to sit there and hold it for much longer. And this worked pretty good, except that I had some issues with the mold that I had. I was using these party cups. I've never used them before. The problem is they get narrow at the bottom, and you get cracking whenever you do your burnout process, and the cracking usually is an issue as long as your mold is thick enough, because they're just kind of surface cracks. Unfortunately on this one, the cracks were deep enough to hit the inside sprue, and I had a little lava volcano come out the bottom of the side. Well, it looks really cool. It was pretty frustrating. So here's a clip of me pulling off the slag of the metal for the 3rd time that day. For the 3rd attempt, I was so frustrated at that point in time, I said, you know what, I'm going to make up 2 molds and hopefully one will come out. There was enough detail that came out on mold number 2 or attempt number 2 that I could tell this was going to work if I could just get the metal to stay in the mold. So when I put these sprues in, I put them up a little bit higher and for a little bit of safety factor. So here's the pour on attempt number 3, and it's actually a little bit funny. I didn't notice that the second mold had sprung a leak until after I had poured the remaining molten brass into the ingot mold. And then, like an idiot, I noticed that the main screw channel level was dropping as it leaked out the bottom, and I went back with the crucible to try to dump more in and fill it back up. But of course, all the molten brass I had just dumped in the ingot mold. So at that point, there was nothing I could do but basically sit there and watch and freaking bash my head against the wall. So unfortunately, I didn't get the recording of when I cracked the first mold open. I hit record, but apparently my camera was probably as tired as me, or maybe I didn't hit record. This was like at 11 o'clock at night at this point in time, and I've been working on this all day. So I gave you guys a shot of what it looked like when it first came out, the first mold, and it's really interesting that brass, when it's really hot, it looks silver, almost like aluminum or silver. It's not until you cool it down that it gets that gold bronze color to it. And like I said, it's 11 o'clock at night, so at this point I was just hoping that everything came out good. At least one coin came out good, and it turns out that both came out really well. I was really happy and really tired. So I was just glad that I didn't have to do a 4th casting at that point. And in a second here, I'm going to show you what they look like after I comb down, some close-ups, and then we'll get on to cleaning them up and making them shine. Here's some close-ups of them after I cooled them down with the screws still on. You can see they're actually now gold brass colored after I cooled them down. All the details came out really well. I'm pretty happy with how they turned out.
All right, one of the things I noticed, guys, was that on each of the coins there was these kind of like black marks, and I don't know if it was from the wax not burning out completely or not. And the problem is that due to the surface of the coins, you know, there's so many details on it. Getting in there and sanding them is going to be really hard, and it's not going to be even. So to get these off, what I'm doing is I had some copper etchant from from making circuit boards basically, and since brass is mostly copper, I'm etching them. And I know they look pretty dull and tarnished right now, but I've already tested it with some of the sprues, and it gets off those black marks pretty well. So we're going to try this, and then I should be able to scrub them off and shine them up a little bit more. But this will get off the black marks and help clean them up a little bit, so we'll see how that goes. Alright, here they are out of the etchant. It got rid of the black dots, but they're still not that shiny. So I'm going to throw them in my tumbler and tumble them around for a while and see if I can get these things to shine a little bit better.
Alright, finally, we're there. We're done. You know, these have been sitting in my tumbler for most of the day now. They come out pretty shiny, but I think I'll keep them in there for a week or so and they'll just look great. If you guys want one of these, head over to my Patreon page. It'll cost you $1 a month. I give each cast that I do away to my Patreons randomly. And if you like this video, hit the like. I really appreciate it. And subscribe to see my other casting videos and what I cast next. And also let me know what you want to see cast in the comments below so that I can make stuff that you guys enjoy watching. Again, thanks for watching. See you next time.